Alright guys, we are testing a new recorder today, so bear with me if the screen's cut off or if things are not exactly how they normally look or the quality's lower. I am testing a couple things, hoping to get rid of the watermark with the recorder I was using and use a new one. So today is January 22nd, it's 11:20 a.m. Eastern Standard. We're going to go and do just a quick market update, take a quick look at the charts and what we are seeing. So first thing I want to highlight is the markets are ripping, and we are back in full-on bull territory, or at least in the interim. We can see that the Russell is still a little bit down, but we've had a nice bounce off of this swing low. We are making our way towards all-time highs on the NASDAQ, and the S&P is a hair away after these three monster candles up. We're a hair away from being back at all-time highs. The Dow trickling its way back up. We're making some good movement here now that the Trump inauguration is over. There's talks of tariffs on Mexico and Canada. We're seeing just a lot of things happening. I don't actually know all of the different executive orders that have passed. I've seen some in passing and am watching pretty closely just to understand how that's going to impact the markets. But as you guys know, we don't fight the tape. Tape says this is a bullish market. We're going to continue to go up, and I do think this year is going to be, like I said, a 5 to 10% gain. I do see some challenges later on in the year with potential inflation upticks, but I do see this, no red tape and no regulations being very bullish for the market, and I do think things are going to continue higher here. Now, do I wish I had bought in further on some of these dips? Yeah, I do, but I want to leave a little bit of cash on the side because we could at any point really see a downturn, or we don't really know what's going to happen, what things are going to be enacted. There's always, with every presidential candidate and every presidential election, there's what they say and then there's what they do. So we don't really know. We want to just kind of hide and watch for at least the next couple of weeks, for the first 30, 60, 90 days, and really see what is actually happening, right? I mean, we've had 4 years of Trump before. We've got 4 years of him again. What are going to be the changes? What are the things he's going to do? What are the things he's not going to do, right? We look at, certain policies that he's talked about where, he's pro healthcare and for the people, but then he's, cutting the Medicare and Medicaid, and subscription drug prices are going to go up. So it's like, okay, what are we, who are we actually, we know who he's actually focused on benefiting, which is the billionaires, right? It's the billionaire boys club, and you're not in it, right? And we have to kind of watch what is actually going to happen. What are actually the things that are going to change, and then we're going to watch the tape in the market to see what direction are we moving. So anyhow, I'm going to take a quick look and just go through what I normally do here with my own review. So I'm going to go through my weekly setups, which I have live cattle, which I'm looking to short, but if we just keep breaking all-time highs here, the chart's too bullish. There's no short here, right? So we're watching it, but there's nothing to do here. Silver, we're in on a position. We see this kind of wedge that is forming. We're bouncing off the top of the channel. Would like to see us break through that. We're in a long position. The Russell I am watching here. Not too much of a setup yet. That's actually an old setup that I'm probably going to change out for the Dow, because I'm actually, if I switch this over to our momentum indicator, I'm actually getting a flag to buy the Dow. Now, I don't like trading the Dow. It's actually not on my list. I track it from a momentum standpoint, but I don't trade it. It hasn't back tested well historically, so we're likely not going to trade this. But I am going to watch it and see how this kind of plays out here. It's not really up too much today. I'm going to just kind of keep it on the chart. I'm going to save it on my weekly setups on the grid and just watch it. Copper, we're getting a little bit of a rejection, similar channel here that we're seeing with a lot of the metals. We're kind of bouncing off the top of the channel, getting rejected lower. Gold is that mistrade that broke through the channel and is looking very bullish as we head towards double top all-time highs. Cotton, we're in on that small position, which is just kind of chopping around right now. We're at that 67.5-ish range where we've been typically bouncing off of, so we're going to keep watching that one as well. The Aussie dollar, we are also watching as it's set up, and it's had a little bit of a move up, a little bit of a rotation, and then with the pound, we actually have entered a position on the British pound to go long. So we saw this, a little bit of a reversal here. We're starting to see the moving averages cross, and we've also seen what I believe was some bearish news on the British pound, and yet price still had this monster candle up here. I'll have to actually look at the UK calendar here. If we pull this over, I believe we had unemployment rate, which is right there. What else did we have? Today is the 22nd. Yeah, we had an unemployment rate, employment change, which is all pretty well in line. Unemployment rate ticked up a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, we're in a long position here. I am just going to assume this is going to get stopped out and not go anywhere, but we'll hold on to it and see. And then the euro we're also watching. But if you do look at the euro, the Aussie dollar, and the pound, these things are all pretty beaten up. It'd actually be interesting to see if there's a main correlation. I mean, the euro and the Aussie dollar, those charts look identical, right? British pound had more volatility back in September. I would love to pull up. Let's take a quick look here. And guys, this is actually what I would normally do during the week. I just wanted to record it and show you guys how I analyze charts and what we look at. Look at that. Look at the euro versus the Aussie dollar. Some good correlation there. And I could actually run the correlation coefficient. But let's also do euro, Aussie, pound. I mean, these things look pretty correlated. I don't think that one's saved. Let's do that again. B, British pound, okay, apply. Not as much, but I mean, if we go to trading view, I can actually run a correlation coefficient between the Aussie. Doing this on my other screen here, and we'll pull it over in 1 second. So the correlation coefficient with the euro. Apply. Pull this over here. Get an error message. Let's try this again. My indicator, correlation coefficient. Apply. So correlation coefficient, if we're at 1, we have a positive correlation, and this thing's at a 0.78, so there is a good amount of correlation between the Aussie and the euro. And then if we also look at the pound versus the euro, 0.78. Let's do pound and Aussie. Not as much as of recent, but the pound and the euro, good amount of correlation there. So something to watch out for. We don't necessarily have to trade both tickers, even though they're both set up, because there is a good correlation. And what we've noticed too is the US dollar, right? If we go back over to TradingView, US dollar has just been ripping. I mean, this thing has been very bullish up until maybe the past 2 days. So that's partly why these other currencies are so beaten down. But yeah, we missed the gold trade. That's been nothing but up, which is unfortunate. We're in cotton. We're now in on the pound long. And we're watching some other currencies here. And then I'd like to just take a quick look at some of the other stocks on my watch list. So I filter by percent change. Bitcoin's down today. Ethereum's down a little bit, which I do think I'm still very bullish crypto as far as market sentiment. Nasdaq's doing nice. Copper's down. Palladium's up, which is, Palladium's back into 1,000, which is interesting. We'll pull that one open. Close the calendar. We've got the Brazilian real. Dollar's up today. Cattle's up, which is really interesting. I'm waiting to catch the rollover on that because speculators have really pushed the cattle markets up and up and up, and we just have not seen any sign of reversal yet. Soybean oil down 3%. Coffee as well. Coffee is just ripping higher, despite the fact that it's set up for us to short, or it's pretty close to it. Oil, as expected, ticking down since the inauguration. Some shit coins. Solana's up nice, which I'm in a small position on in the crypto portfolio. MSTR is down today. Our inverse is up. Nvidia doing pretty nice today, back to 145. Wow. Tesla kind of pushing, chopping around. Rocket Lab was up 30% yesterday, guys. I mean, that thing has been crazy. What else stands out to me? Disco. Oh, wow. So Viasat, we saw, I've got this Congress trades, and Viasat was actually up 30% yesterday, and now Disco's up 15. I wonder if new holdings. I track the Congress trades, guys, and it's interesting when you see some of these guys buying. See if I can move. It's interesting. You see some of these guys buying in Congress, and you just see the price chopping around or going sideways. And then we have something like this, or this, right? That's a missed trade right there, that gap up. And then new holdings, same thing. They're all kind of finding a bottom. I might look to get some trades in on those types of positions, guys. I don't know, those Congress trades, man. There's people that know things. Viasat yesterday, they signed a government contract with NASA, or yeah, a deal with NASA. It popped 30%. Like, these guys in Congress, man, they know some shit that we don't, and they trade off of it, and they make millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. So it's good to follow these and keep an eye out, and I might try to add some more to the watch list. And then finally, we've got our accumulation range. Moderna's up nice, which we're in just a little bit of a profit. Qualcomm, we're in a little bit of profit. Lulu, we're in. Devon Energy, Coursera's down. Baidu and Alibaba, I'm interested to see how those kind of chop around. We'll open Baidu. These are all down. First Solar is going to be interesting too. A lot of people want to fade energies, especially with the Trump inauguration, but I do think First Solar, if we get a little bit lower, could find a bottom. ChargePoint not doing too well. Lifts up. Everything else kind of just neutral on the day here. And then I've got research firm Muddy Waters that actually looks at these Chinese companies that do those, SPACs or reverse mergers to get on publicly traded exchanges and have some muddy financials, so to speak. So we're actually shorting ELF right now. And I'm going to change this layout to stocks. So ELF is a short, which we're in a small position. Kind of just testing out the research firm. First Solar, kind of just chopping. Would like to see it head a little lower, around, sub 170. Baidu, we're in long. It's also kind of chopping in the bottom of the range. I still like Baidu as an accumulation range right now. New, we talked about. Close some of these. Yeah, new holdings. I don't know, guys. I think somewhere below that $10 range could be interesting. Disco Corp. Anything around here is probably interesting. 24.50. It's at 34. Viasat. Anywhere around the bottom of the channel could be good at $8. Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab is just literally a rocket. This chart is crazy. If I'm in on this stock, I'm selling anywhere between 27 and 33. It could go higher. I'm taking some off the table, no question here. This chart is just, it's super bullish, but it's also up from $4 to 30. I'd be reducing that position. Nvidia looking good, although it's probably going to hit resistance at double top or triple top. Coffee we talked about briefly. It's ready to short, but there's no reversal in sight. And then palladium looking good. So yeah, that's kind of how I go through charts, guys. I appreciate you guys giving a listen, and we're going to keep tracking things closely. We're in on copper, we're in on silver, we're looking at the Dow, we're in on a small position of cotton, we're in on the pound. All trades to the long side as of right now. So we'll talk again soon, and thanks for listening.